What's going on, Knuckleheads? GKM Gaming here with another LEGO Legacies Unboxed video for you, and you know what it is. Free to play Friday. So excited to be here with you, bringing you another free to play, easy to farm unit for you. Today, I'm bringing you a Ninjago unit, and while he might not be the top tier meta Ninjago unit out there, he's still a very good Ninjago unit, and he's probably got the most tags in the game. That's right, obviously you can tell from the video, I'm bringing you Zane. So there's a couple really cool things about Zane. One is he's got 6 tags. So he's great for a builder team if you're trying to do the Piptown United. He's a good attacker. He's good on a Ninjago team. Obviously, I think now that Jay is out, he kind of got pushed to the wayside and replaced with Jay on that Ninjago Spinjitzu team, but he's still viable, especially for people who couldn't get Jay to 7 stars or couldn't get Jay past the 4-star unlock. Probably still better off going with 7-star Zane. He's also a techie, so there's not a lot of techies out there, and when the techie tag becomes a little more prevalent, I think Zane is going to be really big time. He's also chill, and one of the reasons I wanted to cover Zane this week was the same reason I covered Aurora last week, because the chill team is in the middle of their brick space event. We're at the tail end of it right now, and if you still have some snowflakes left, you might want to invest them in Zane. So first off, let's talk about where we farm Zane. He doesn't have as many places to farm him as some of the other free-to-play Friday units that we've covered, but he does have some really easy ways to farm him. The first one is the mashup shop. 600 mashup coins. You could probably get 6 tiles a day if you're fully farming the mashup every day. Or at least you're going to get 3 tiles a day. So similar to how I did Verta a few weeks ago, I'm only farming Verta from the mashup. I really only farmed Bart from the mashup. And I'm a 7-star Bart. I'm about to 7-star Verta within maybe a few weeks or so. And I'm really excited to eventually start working on Zane. If you are someone who wants to build up Zane, he's a quick farm, as is anyone with the mashup from the mashup shop. You could at least get him to a usable 5 stars and then, continue to use him as you're working him up. Again, this is a free-to-play, relatively easy to farm unit. And he is one of the cheaper units in the cold shop right now. You can get 5 tiles for only 500 frost, right? So that's the same price you're paying for Dr. Kelvin tiles. I'm gonna tell you what, Zane is a lot better than Dr. Kelvin. I'll tell you that. I've obviously been putting, like I said last week, putting my frost energy into getting Aurora. If you want Yeti, I definitely suggest that you put yours into getting Yeti. I don't think I would even have gotten Yeti if I was putting the frost tiles into him this time. It definitely is a little bit of a slower farm with Yeti than other brick spaces in the past that I've seen. Specifically DigiJ, I think because they gave us so much free energy, he was a little more easier to farm up. But, I mean, literally, for the cost of 5 Yeti tiles, you can get 10 Zane tiles. And you're going to farm them up pretty quickly. As you can see, I haven't farmed my Zane up. I kind of opted out of Ninjago, and I have no desire to run a cold team. But for a free-to-play unit, if I was going full free-to-play, I definitely would suggest looking into him. So let's talk about some of the things that he does. Right, so if you look at his basic maxed out, and keep in mind, he's an attacker. He's got a pretty good attack set. He's not weak. He's doing 110% damage, and then he's a 35% chance to inflict Dizzy on them for 2 turns. If the attack is a critical hit, it's a 100% chance instead. So Zane is all about getting those crits so that he can inflict Dizzy on people, and Dizzy is going to synergize really well with the other chill units. So while I think he's a good Ninjago unit, I think as the chill tag kind of grows, and eventually I think chill will be a good tag. I'm sure they're due for a rework, and Kelvin and Cold will get reworked, and things will change for chill. And I think he's going to be a staple in that chill team, especially that if he's getting those crits off, he's going to be inflicting Dizzy and kind of boosting up everyone else. His first special is probably one of my favorites. I actually just love this in general for anyone. 110% damage and inflicts defense down 2 for 3 turns. It's a shield break. Oh, also, there's a 20% chance for each active Spinjitzu hero that he's going to inflict vulnerable. So you play him on that Spinjitzu team. Listen, I think Jay replaced him, and I think you need Naya as, that healer, that main healer, because Wu can't really hold it down with the healing. But, man, on a Spinjitzu team, Zane can really help bring the hurt. He hits hard, and he can inflict vulnerable. I think there's like an 80 to 100% chance on a full Spinjitzu team that he can inflict vulnerable. I'm never sure if that 20% chance counts for him. I'm going to say it does because it just says each active Spinjitzu hero, which he is an active Spinjitzu hero. So 100% chance on a Spinjitzu team, we'll say, to inflict vulnerable. That's pretty good. I would probably lean on that if I'm going to use Zane. I don't know why he kind of got pushed out of the Ninjago quote-unquote meta team. Not that we've seen much Ninjago meta, full Ninjago, because I think Redbeard and Scarlet are just way too prevalent right now. And those mixed Ninjago teams where it's like Redbeard, Scarlet, Bart, Wu Lloyd, I have so much trouble with that team. And you can kind of take Bart out for Digi-J, and then you're just like really bringing the machine gun damage. But I think you need Bart for the healing. But I'm digressing from Zane here. So he has an AoE. AoEs are so underrated, and especially Zane's AoE is really good. It deals 60% damage to all foes. Foes that have Dizzy are double damage. 120% damage to foes that have Dizzy. And his basic's inflicting Dizzy on them. I'm going to hit you with my basic. I'm going to hit you with my basic. I'm going to spread that Dizzy out. And Falcon Feint, baby. And he's going to be doing 120% damage. And he's a hard hitter. Zane is not weak. Oh, also, 75% chance to gain skill up for 2 turns, which is going to help him inflict those dizzies. And if Zane has critical damage up 2, he can inflict grit down 2 on all foes for 2 turns, which will also help him inflict those dizzies. So this is pretty good. The thing about Zane is he's got certain synergies with the Ninjago team, and then he's got certain synergies with the Chill team. Obviously, all the Dizzy synergy is going to work better on a Chill team. It also would work well if you're playing him with Princess Argenta, who does inflict Dizzy and AoE Dizzy. So they're not a bad combo, and we haven't really talked about it, but I'm definitely thinking about doing a video on that, like the Argenta-Zane combo. If I had a higher star Zane, I would see how it worked out. But that double AoE could be pretty devastating, especially against an all-builder team where Argenta's getting extra damage. But he's also getting a buffer if he gets critical damage up, helping him to inflict. So you're not really going to be getting critical damage up if you're playing him on a Chill team, but if you're playing him on a Ninjago team, yeah, you are going to be getting that a lot, especially from Master Wu. And his passive, and this is where, again, you see the split between, all right, he kind of synergizes with Ninjago, but he also synergizes with Techie, and it's just like, he has good synergy with all these tags, and unfortunately, you can't really get the best out of Zane because he has all these different synergies, but I feel like that's what makes him just a different, diverse unit. Is like, you're not meant to get all of these different synergies. It's just like, he'll synergize with Techie like this, he'll synergize with Chill like this, he'll synergize with Spinjitzu like this. So his passive at the start of battle, Zane's skill is increased by 10%, plus 5% bonus skill for each other Techie hero. So we can get up to 30% on his skill increase, which is also going to help him inflict that Dizzy. So basically on a Chill team, he doesn't inflict as much Dizzy by himself, whereas on a Ninjago team, he gets buffs to help him inflict Dizzy by getting skill up from the Falcon Feint, and he also gets buffs on a Techie team, which obviously doesn't really exist yet because there's not many Techie units. There's only 2 in the game right now. 3 in the game, 1 is not even available. But he kind of, if you get him on that full Techie team, he's going to get those bonuses to kind of help him inflict that Dizzy himself. So it's just different ways for him to make his abilities work, right? So they'll work with a synergy, but they're going to work differently. And he's got to, in some synergies, he's got to kind of get those Dizzies off himself, whereas on a Chill, he's just capitalizing on the Dizzy that everyone else is spreading around. He also gains a 10% critical chance plus 5% critical chance for each other Spinjitzu hero. So his crit chance is going to go up by 30% on that full Ninjago team, and as we saw with Falcon Feint, when he has critical damage up 2, he inflicts grit down on all foes. So his critical chance goes up. You're going to be giving him critical damage up 2. He's going to be critting the most on that Ninjago team. So to me, it's kind of like, I feel like people kind of pushed him to the wayside. And the problem is, you're not seeing a lot of full Ninjago teams because the mixed Ninjago Bucks teams are so good right now. And the Ninjago set hasn't been fully farmed up by a lot of people. But I think that a lot of people overlook Zane on that full Ninjago Spinjitzu team. And I feel like eventually, as we start to see those full Ninjago teams and we start to see, well, you know, you have Jay and it's working great for you, but I didn't get my 7-star Jay and I'm going to go with Zane instead. I think you're going to see that Zane can be very, very competitive in the meta. Now, the interesting thing, which I like, you know, I'm going to report on some other news now, is they're coming out with Ghostbusters, which apparently is going to be a hard counter to Ninjago. Ninjago is a super hard counter to Buccaneers, the current meta, and Buccaneers, from what I'm told, is going to be a super hard counter to Ghostbusters / spooky, whatever you want to call it. I'm excited about that because from what I'm told, you know, I haven't seen too much spooky because, again, my shard is not the beta shard, not as much pay to play going on. Bucks and the Bucks Ninjago mix, or the Bucks straight up Bucks with Woo, is still kind of dominating the top 20 right now for me. Obviously, you're not really spooky meta. Whatever it is doesn't really count because of Willa's availability. So whatever you want to say about the spooky meta, nobody's really gonna be using the full spooky meta. And I think that Ninjago is going to have its time in the light because I don't think everybody's going to just go ahead and buy the Ghostbusters. Like, I'm going to do the Unboxed and I'm going to farm them the best that I can, and I'll do the free-to-play videos and everything. I don't see myself paying for the Ghostbusters units. Again, I like Ghostbusters. I talked about this in my Ghostbusters video, but it's not for me. But I don't want to digress and, you know, tangent too much on you guys. So that's all I got for you today, Knuckleheads. Please remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that little bell for some notifications, and as always, remember to knuckle up.
She blocked me on Instagram, Snapchat, I don't give a damn about that. I can see your face, still feel the same. I don't feel the need to forget.